Yo people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam. What's your name? Let's be mates. Let's go straight into today's video. Yeah, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be doing our very own home gym DIY deadlift platform. Now, before we get started and into the actual build, what we're going to do is go straight over to our high-tech art studio and we're going to run through the plan of action. So here's the plan for the deadlift platform. So first off, we've got a big, long, thin piece of plywood. Now this is 6mm. It doesn't really matter how thick it is. I've just gone for a thin cut just because I was trying to do this on a budget. So I'm going to drill this down onto our shed floor just to make sure it doesn't move anywhere, just like so, just in the corners. And then we've got our big, thick rubber matting. Now this is 20mm thick. I will leave a link to this down in the description because it's actually really cheap, and that is going to get glued down onto the bottom with some adhesive, and then we're going to do one this side as well. I would recommend thicker matting. The thicker you can get it, obviously the more protection it offers, but if you're on a budget then just go for something like this, or even something a bit thinner. It really doesn't matter. And then on the last piece, we've got a thick piece of 18mm plywood, which again, we are going to glue down with some wood glue. Now, we're going to try not to draw a penis in the glue. We are a bit childish on this channel, so we'll try not to do that. And then we're just going to drill it down in the corners and the middle, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then finally, we're going to put our weights on each of the pieces just to make sure that the glue can set properly, and then after about 24 hours we're going to come back and we're going to be able to test it out. So that's pretty much the plan. So here we go, build time. Right, this is the 6mm piece of plywood. This is just going to be the base for the platform, and it's going to let everything sit on top. As I mentioned, I'm going to be drilling this down to the shed floor. Two reasons for this. The first one is to basically just stop it from moving. I don't want to be slipping while I'm deadlifting, so that's one reason. The second reason, when you buy 6mm plywood, you tend to get waves in the wood. So basically, I just wanted to take those waves out with it being flat on the floor. I didn't want the base rocking, obviously making it unstable again when I'm deadlifting. So that's the reason why we've drilled the base into the shed floor basically. And one tip when you're building stuff like this, if you can get your wood from a local DIY shop, it's usually way cheaper than going to somewhere like B&Q. So try there first. If you can't find what you need, then just go to B&Q, but it might be a little bit more expensive. So these are the mats that I'm going to be using. They're from a company called Cannons UK. I will leave a link to their website down in the description, so if you want to grab these mats, then you can go and do that. These mats are actually 20mm thick, so they're absolutely perfect. You can get thicker mats, but again, they are a little bit more expensive. But I feel like this size and thickness is pretty much spot on for what we want to do. Again, the colour, they had black and grey in this size, but for some reason the black was out of stock. It had like a 15-day lead time, so I assume everyone's trying to like floor their gym out with black mats, so that's the reason we went with the grey, and I think it actually looks a little bit cooler. And again, another tip is before you start gluing everything down, make sure you dry fit it just to make sure it does fit, because when you use adhesive like this glue that I'm using, you literally have about 10 seconds. As soon, like when you put the mat down, it's stuck. It's not moving anywhere. So you need to make sure that everything does fit before you start gluing, because there's nothing worse than gluing something down and then you realise, oh shit, I can't get it back now. I've buggered it up basically. So just dry fit it and you should be good. And now for the final part, is just again gluing down that middle piece of the platform. This is the 18mm thick plywood, which is really strong. Again, just using wood glue and then flirting in a few screws just to make sure it doesn't move anywhere. Just quickly going back, when I glued down the mats, I left a little bit of a gap just in case I ever want to move the platform. So all I need to do is just lift those mats up and I can get at the screws and then just unscrew it, and then I can get to the whole platform and I can move it about if I need to move anything in the gym. So just again, planning in place, planning ahead. But like I say, leaving the weights on there to dry now and should be good.
Right, folks, right. I don't know what I'm saying, right. So I've done the deadlift platform. It looks pretty strong, it feels pretty strong. I've stuck all these weights on, we're going to let it dry overnight, and then we're going to come back tomorrow and give it a proper test out. We're going to deadlift some weight and see how it really is. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. So there we go, people. Home deadlift platform complete. It's actually come out way better than I expected. It looks really sick. I'm going to paint this little bit of wood with a bit of varnish in another video, but I just don't know what colours to go for yet. If you've got any suggestions, leave it down in the comments. I did also mention about putting some extra wood underneath just because I didn't think it was going to be strong enough. However, after testing the deadlift platform out, it does feel okay. So I'm not going to put any more wood underneath. I feel like it's going to be just fine. However, I'm not going to stick the rest of the mats down just in case I ever want to move it. I can still get to those screws. And if you're thinking about doing something like this yourself, I will put a total cost of how much this exact platform with these exact dimensions cost me. So if you're thinking about doing it, you'll have a rough idea of how much it's going to set you back. But like I say, it's going to be well worth the money. I'm really chuffed with it. I have got some other good DIY videos coming soon for the home gym, so make sure you stick around for that and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more. So as always in the videos, I always say if I've made you laugh, if you found it entertaining, if you found it interesting, make sure you comment, like and subscribe. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.